Welcome everyone to an epic battle between a rubber duck of war as the forces of Khorne going up against Grand Cathay. Now we are going to be playing on Kislev Troll Country, which is a super nice flat map. So for the Cathay forces, we are going to have 4 units of the Jade Warriors in the front. Good armor and melee defense makes them a good roadblock here in the front to protect up against the triple Jade Warrior crossbows. Good range at 28 missile strength, 6 armor piercing per model, makes them pretty decent here even up against the heavily armored Khorne forces. 1 Grand Cannon in the back, which is going to be very good at deleting that very elite cavalry force that they can bring, and then 1 unit in the back here of the Celestial Dragon Guard. Anti-large armor piercing, great melee stats, as well as that charge reflection and expert charge defense. So over on the right hand side we do have the double Jade Lancers, pretty good roadblocks, but that's pretty much it. You can imagine they're a little bit like Empire Cavalry. They're not particularly strong there in the melee stats, but they can really hold in and prevent them from getting into the main pocket. So for the single entity, we are going to have the Terracotta Sentinel, a beautiful beastie indeed, so majestic to watch it at work, but magic damage and brilliant 600 armor piercing weapon strength, making it pretty good up against demons. Now if I generally bring 1, I like to bring 2, but still, watching this thing go at work is super fun indeed. For the Lord Choice, we are going to be having Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon, bringing quite a lot today. So we are going to have the Warding Iron, as well as Arcane Conduit, Strength of Yang, Metal Shifting, and for the spells, the Constellation of the Dragon, the Wall of Wind and Fire, Dragon's Breath, Glittering Robe, Plague of Rust, and for the abilities, the Master of Alchemy, and the Transformation of the Dragon. So for the Lord Choice, I think that's a little bit too much there on the spells, but we will drop that in at the end here for a little bit of an analysis of the battle. So in the back right for Ducky, we have 2 units of the Chaos Furies. In the back left, we have an extra unit of the Chaos Furies and 1 extra Fleshhound. So good mobility there in the back corners, and for the front line, super fast as well. So 5 units of the Bloodletters, 3 of them here being the Exalted Bloodletters that come with those Hellblades. Now Hellblades are super powerful. It gives them plus 20% base weapon damage and 20% armor piercing. On top of anti-infantry armor piercing, it's going to be very good up against the heavily armored forces of Grand Cathay. So in the back, we are going to have the double blood shrines, which are very good here. These motorbikes are very good anti-infantry tools that also have the totem of the endless bloodletting, and then healing with the gore feast in melee combat. They're going to be supported by the Lord Choice, which is also on a motorbike, so fantastic stuff. I love the noises and the animations. They're so nasty to watch at work. They're so difficult to pin in. So we are going to have the Revel in Slaughter, the Totem of the Endless Bloodletting, which is a great double 35 meter bonus when added together, and then Gore Feast to heal the Lord Choice with the Hellblade. So imagine if you get 80 kills on this beast, it already has 260 weapon strength. That's going to go up by 20%, including armor piercing. So for the heroes, certainly one of those powerful in the game, we are going to have the Cultist of Khorne. This bad boy has amazing melee stats and 95 armor when on horseback. We do also have Frenzy and then the Gate of Khorne. So that's going to be a great Bloodletter summon there in the back. So a super fast force here coming from Khorne, and it's going to be very difficult here for the Grand Cathay force to deal with it. It's really going to hold heavy here on the triple Jade Warrior crossbows and the cannon in the back. Now, the big cannon is going to have to start firing down here up against the Exalted Bloodletters, and hope you can whittle down the forces to the point that they can't get 80 kills, and just slowly bring them down, drag them through the mud, and hopefully do all the good damage. So we are going to be firing the front. Good hits here in the middle, going to be down to 91 models so far. So a bit of a skip on. We are going to be seeing them shooting into the front. Crossbows are getting ready, and here we go. We're going to shoot. Oh my god, so much damage coming up against the Bloodletters on the right. That's going to be pretty much 1 volley for a quarter of its HP. We're going to be firing. There's only 30 armor here for the regular Bloodletters, 40 for the second unit, but they are getting destroyed here. Now we can see the little green shields here coming on the Jade Warrior crossbows. That's going to be giving them the defensive stance, which gives them added armor, and then they get the 5% damage resistance here from Zhao Ming. Now he's going to get compromised by the Chaos Furies. Chaos Furies also in the back with the motorbike ready to go here. This thing is going to push straight through the middle and it's going to knock them flying. Look at that, the donuts in the middle of the forces of the Jade Warriors. The Bloodletters do move in, but they are going to be unstable. It's going to be a bit of demonic instability in the back here, which is going to bring them back to the realms of chaos. We have a summon directly from chaos here in the middle. We have the Bloodletters of Khorne moving into the back up against the heavily armored Jade Warrior crossbows. These boys, anti-infantry and armor piercing, will chew through like lawnmowers. In the middle, we still have the Chaos Furies going strong, backed up by the Exalted Bloodletters, going to be up to 73 kills already, and they've been in about 30 seconds of combat. We do have the Cultist of the Khorne. He's going to be chasing after the Terracotta Sentinel. That magic damage isn't going to prove too much here up against the Cultist, but 600 armor piercing weapon strength really will. So in the middle, we do actually have, for the demons here, they do actually have physical resistance, so having that magic damage is really nice here on the battlefield. So we do have the Lord Choice here, backed up by another Blood Shrine. Got to make sure they don't get in the way of each other. Those animations are super important for clearing out infantry. In the middle, the Celestial Dragon Guard fighting up against Bloodletters, and they're actually going to be getting the Plague of Rust ability. Not too important at this moment, as Celestial Dragon Guard have armor piercing anyway. But they're going to go down to 0 armor, and yeah, they're going to be falling in droves here. The elite of the elite, the Dragon Guard, are well known for slaughtering many infantry in mass numbers. In the back, the good pressure of the Blood Shrine just going to be tearing apart the Jade Warrior forces. Good mobility use here from the Furies in the back. They're going to be challenging up against the Jade Warriors, compromising them, preventing them from shooting the Bloodletters in the front. So good mobility use here on the right. We are going to be breaking the Grand Cannon. Lovely work here from Ducky, really showing his mobility prowess. So Wall of Wind and Fire did pop in the front, didn't see too much damage here. The Exalted Bloodletters, you can see that little gold outline. That's going to because they're at 154 kills, meaning they are going to get that buff up to 53 anti-infantry armor-piercing weapon strength. At 55 melee attack, thanks to all the buffs in the middle from the Lord Choice and the Blood Shrine, is going to allow these boys to chew through almost anything. We are going to be shattering the Celestial Dragon Guard, but we do still have Xiao Ming, and he's going to be going very strong here in the middle as he fights up against the Mass Demons. Looks like he's not going to be fighting too much. He's actually going to... There we go. Big fire punch coming through the middle, but he's just going to be getting slaughtered by the Mass Hell Blades. Over on the left, we have the Terracotta Sentinel. Look at that melee attack as he spins around that double dual blade. I don't actually know what this is called, but it looks absolutely fantastic. If anybody knows, do let me know down below in the comments. But we still have the Cultist going very strongly here. He's going to be fighting quite nicely up against the Terracotta, but I believe this is going to be super close to army losses. We can see the Bloodletters and Exalted Bloodletters with the Relentless Rage, and then also the Horn of Khorne giving plus 24 melee attack with armor piercing, regardless whether it's anti-large or anti-infantry, will just tear apart Xiao Ming. Now, of course, you are going to get that plus 60 armor, but that's not going to help you against the armor piercing. This is where I think a couple of spells were used inefficiently. He is going to get shattered. That is going to be army losses. We do have one man against the world here. He's going to be fighting in the middle of the mass Khornite forces, and perhaps he might be getting a kill or two maybe here in the middle. But unfortunately, a brilliant performance by Ducky. He certainly does show up very strongly here in this battle. Now, something I really wanted to talk about, which is how you can use Khorne so differently. I've not seen a build like this yet, or at least one I haven't been sent that I can cast. So a very, very good build. Now, of course, we saw the triple motorbike from the Herald of Khorne, and then also the double blood shrines. So we got 510, 630, and 588 there for the blood shrines. Now, of course, that's not too much, but all of them do provide buffs in a 35-meter radius around them, plus they heal themselves, and they're very good for disrupting formations. Now, that's not just going to be Jade Warriors and preventing them from shooting, that's also going to be the infantry front line. That's going to prevent them from charging, getting those charge bonuses up against the rest of the infantry, which pretty much guarantees the Exalted Bloodletters and the Bloodletters to guarantee their charge and then do some good anti-infantry armor-piercing damage. The Cultist as well with the summon, he got 765 on his own. That's going to be just up against the Terracotta Sentinel. If you think about that, that's 100 armor for an unbreakable unit that he got 760 damage value for. That's extremely strong. So he did over half its health and damage. So very good performance. Plus, he also got a Bloodletter summon there in the back. He's an extremely strong melee combatant that also here has about 3/4 of his health left. So super strong from him. 970, 1.6 and 650 there for the Exalted Bloodletters. Now, some of these were going to get shot. It was, it was always almost going to be written when you have 3 units of the Jade Warriors and then also a cannon in the back. But still, 115, 168. So 2 of these got 80 kills very comfortably and 650. So very, very good damage on the board. Pretty much if you add all of them together, they're all going to be comfortably paying for themselves. So we got 1,096 here for the Bloodletters. These ones got deleted instantly. They got heavy fire from 2 units of the Jade Warrior crossbows. But 1,000 for 115 damage there. 115 kills for the Bloodletters, so very strong. 640 for the Fleshhounds with 580, 280, and 970. So the Chaos Furies came in. They certainly distracted the cannons and the Jade Warrior crossbows, which allowed the Exalted Bloodletters to get in a little bit uncompromised, and from there it was just mass slaughter and carnage. Blood for the Blood Gods, skulls for the Skull Throne certainly came here for the Khorne forces. So for Xiao Ming, we saw 960 for him, and we saw, I do really like that we saw that the Plague of Rust, overcasting it for 60, or at least negative 60 armor is very good up against the regular Khorne infantry. Of course, they have 100 armor, and not many things outside of halberds here have armor piercing. You do need to bring the dragon crossbows, or you need to bring some cannons to deal with the heavily armored infantry. Now, cannons will do okay, but they won't kill them in mass droves. They'll get to the front line before the cannons can really deal with them, and then they become a problem. So otherwise, you're relying on Celestial Dragon Guard or the Jade Warrior halberds, which, pay for anti-large. So the fact they're going to be fighting up against infantry is not always great for them. So the fact that having that Plague of Rust can be quite decent. You can certainly cast it and spam it quite nicely. I don't really like having the armor buff, that plus 60 armor buff. That's not going to be too handy. Most of the forces here, I think everything outside of the cultists has armor piercing as a main stat line. Also the Flesh Hounds. But yeah, I think here, for the most part, most things have good level of armor piercing in the Khorne rosters. So I think that the fact that, coming here with extra armor probably wasn't worth it. And the Wall of Wind and Fire is not good up against the regular Khorne infantry. Anything with heavy armor is going to really suffer against it. It doesn't have good armor piercing. And I also think Final Transmutation is very strong. Final Transmutation is a good single entity, or at least low model count destroy there in a 35-meter radius. Could be very good up against the cultist and up against the herald here, and especially up against that expensive cavalry. It really, really does very well. I really like the Terracotta Sentinel. We got 970. Two of those with a bit of healing, with maybe Miao Ying could have done quite nicely. Only 350 for the Celestial Dragon Guard, so they're 1.1k and they came in at 350, so not too great. Only 200 for the Grand Cannon. So that's also underperforming. 290 and 418 there for the Jade Lancers. If you triple gold chevron these, they do actually win up against the Flesh Hounds, but, it's a massive investment just to beat the Flesh Hounds. So, you've got to find a different way to deal with these. Just regular peasant spearmen can be quite nice to hold that back line. And then they can also fight quite nicely here up against the Exalted Bloodletters. They actually fight very well considering their gold cost. So we've got 290, 580, 220 there for the Jade Warriors, with 170, 380, 94, and 128. All the Jade Warriors, of course, they pay mostly for their armor, and Khorne have a lot of armor piercing, as we said. So, of course, they're paying for a stat line that doesn't really benefit them too much here in the matchup. So it's a very interesting one. It quite heavily favors Khorne, but still, I wanted to show off a very, very good game here from Ducky, just showing that mobility, the control on the battlefield, that macro and micro is certainly very strong there from him. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to know all your thoughts and opinions. I do try and respond when I can, and try and interact with you and talk about the games as much as I possibly can. Feel free to subscribe. It really does help the growth of the channel. You guys have been doing that massively recently, so thank you very much. And then also check that description. I'll be hopefully doing a stream tonight. Should be on Twitch. It's either going to be something Warhammer related, or I'll leave a discussion in the Discord. So you guys can go on my Discord, join up there. You can also leave replays just like this one, so I can cast it in the future. And then you can vote on what you want to see on Twitch. Other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.